Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have a coaching video for you, and if you are coming from the Pro V AM Challenge video, we have Darren here. We're gonna give him a lesson because, to be completely honest, he wanted to get a lesson today anyways, and we're just gonna hop into it and throw some shots. We'll check to see what he does versus some of the top pros and what I think based on what I see on tour every week. See if we can help him achieve his goals of becoming a professional bowler. I honestly don't know if that's his goal, but do you want to go pro one day?
Yes.
Okay, that is his goal, cool. Darren described to me that he is trying to create a little more bend in his elbow to create ball speed. I am a fan of creating ball speed with foot speed. You don't really want to use your upper body to generate more speed because then that leads to more inconsistencies. More muscle, more problems. Loose muscles are fast muscles, so that's what we want to try to stick to. In our match, there were a good amount of inconsistencies as far as targeting. His lines were kind of all over the place, so that leads me to believe that his upper body is creating those inconsistencies. He's not using his legs enough. Two things that I want to target today. We're gonna start with the beginning with this push away. If you don't have a good start, very difficult to have a good finish. So, Darren, I want you to throw one more shot. Side profile, we're looking at your push away only. There's not a lot of push. You got a little bit towards the end, but it's already kind of extended for the most part.
Yeah, I did that purposefully, just to get my timing right, or my rhythm right.
Okay, so we can try to adjust that with your feet, because I would prefer you to have more free momentum at the beginning with a longer push, so that you don't have to use upper body to pull it back.
Okay.
Because it's that upper body movement that's creating those inconsistencies for you. Visualizing what you have here, you can even start your setup a little bit higher and just try to be a little longer with it. Okay, good, I like it. So what I'm trying to, I guess, eliminate is this pull motion here. If it's in sync, kind of like Simo, you know, he doesn't have a big push away, but everything's kind of flowing. You don't see a big change in his swing during his initial steps. With you, I kind of see a little bit of pullback using your upper body instead of momentum. So we want to try to get momentum to get that swing to come back instead of the pull, because if you pull up, you got to pull back down, and then it kind of gets you out of whack, and that's, you know, inconsistencies. So try a couple more shots with that, get a little more comfortable. If you really want to over-exaggerate it, just try to push it as far as you can, as far forward as possible. A lot of things that I do during lessons, I try to have people over-exaggerate, feel things that they normally wouldn't feel while they're competing, just so we can get to a spot that we want them to get to faster. Now what this is actually gonna do for Darren is create more ball speed and more rev rate, because now he's not trying as hard to throw the bowling ball. If he's letting it drop into the slot instead, he can get his hand out of it faster, which is gonna create more rev rate. So with less muscle with the upper body, more power he can generate. All right, let's try to get it a little higher and a little bit longer. How are we feeling so far?
Good.
If it feels good, let's take it a step further. It's not supposed to feel good. I'm gonna help you this time.
Okay.
You're not gonna like it.
You didn't do what Jasno did?
Probably. Why, did he have you do the same thing?
He like helped my arms go down or something.
Well, Jasno does coach me, so if there's similarities there, then that's probably where it comes from. All right, let's start whenever you're ready. Did that feel good?
Yeah.
I just can't get this guy. Can you feel the difference between what you do and then how that's feeling?
I feel more effortless.
I like that, that's good. That's what we're trying to achieve. All right, just go whenever you're ready. Now it's always difficult when you're making changes. You gotta be willing to take those couple steps back so you could take many more forward. As you can see, his ball speed did drop a little bit, but he's just kind of hesitant right now. He's not comfortable with what's going on, so he's gotta take it slow, break it down. If you're changing some things, don't necessarily worry about the results too much. Right now we're just focusing on behind the foul line stuff, so try to keep it to just that when you're making changes. All right, let's do one without help. Try to feel that freeness. Look at that, loosey-goosey, and you get the hits. All right, cool. That's gonna be our first point for the lesson. We're trying to get a little bit longer. We're trying to create some more free momentum instead of having him pick up the ball and be all tense throughout the approach, to make it a little more natural as he's coming down. And again, less effort equals more power more often than not. I think another big portion of your game will improve if we can get you lower to the ground towards the finish.
Okay.
Instead of getting your entry angle into the lane as steep as it is now, if we can get it into the lane a little softer. I'm not gonna give you anything to work on yet. Just try to visualize an airplane landing. Right now, if the airplane lands the way your ball's going into the lane, the plane crashes and the plane probably does not end up in a good condition. So let's think about that airplane gliding onto the airstrip, in this case, bowling ball onto lane. Okay. So this is actually gonna save some power too, because your ball's actually losing energy when it hits the lane at a steeper angle. So that's less power for your ball to shape and hit the pins. So we're gonna try to get you gliding into the lane instead of giving it the good old. That was definitely quieter, so that's good. It's better. Is there anything physically that you did to try to achieve that?
More knee bend.
More knee bend, okay.
Knee bend and picturing the airplane.
Picturing the airplane?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it again. Sometimes we just need to make people aware of what needs to happen and what they're doing, and the changes just kind of automatically happen. So before we go into technical things and overthinking and all that good stuff, or bad stuff, we're gonna try to just have them visualize what needs to happen. It's better? So it's gonna be really tough for someone with a build like Darren because he's a lot taller. His arms are pretty long. He's far away from the ground. My brother's kind of the same way. He's 6'1". His ball gets into the lane a lot harder than mine does, but I'm a half a foot shorter. I get a little closer to the ground. It's gonna be easier for me to get it into the ground nicer than him. So it's gonna be kind of the same case for Darren. He's probably never gonna be able to get it into the ground the same way I do, but if we can eliminate some of the steepness, we can increase, hopefully, some results. That was easy. So a couple of players that come to mind when I watch Darren bowl, Jesper and Packy, both really tall guys, both two-handed. Jesper doesn't really get the ball into the lane super smooth, but he primarily throws urethane. So when what we like to call it screwing it into the ground more, I think that actually helps because it gets the ball started quicker. And that's what you want when you throw urethane. Packy gets the ball into the lane really well, but he does it more with getting his hand really forward to get the ball started. Both of them throw a lot of urethane, and that's just kind of the deal on the left side of the lane for the most part because they can play from them to the left away from the righties. That's kind of the goal here, is to maybe get it more like Packy. How are we feeling?
Getting lower helps me not drop it.
Okay, that's good. All right, we got a little more leverage at the finish. So our 2 points, again, our talking points, our adjustments right now. Longer push, creating more free momentum, and then a little lower to the ground. So that was actually an adjustment he made on his own, so he can get the airplane onto the ground safely. But that's what we got so far. How are we feeling overall?
More fluid. I feel like I'm using less muscle.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. That's always going to be a big focus. You always want to push it further and further though when you're practicing. You don't want to think about it when you're bowling tournaments. You just want to go in with what you got. But when you're practicing, that's what sets you up for the bigger moments when you're bowling league, tournaments, whatever the case is. You fall to your preparation. You don't rise to the occasion. I did learn that one from Brian Kane, so shout out to him. So we want to practice hard. Let's focus one more shot on that push. Make it really long. Make it even higher than before. Just let it drop. You like that? Is it feeling? You're feeling more loose? You can always give yourself a scale, you know, kind of figure what you're feeling out of 10. You know, if he was feeling, as far as how his swing was feeling, like a 7 or 8 out of 10, I'm gonna tell him to make it feel like a 3. And then when he finally feels like it's maybe a 5, I'm gonna tell him to make it feel like a 1. Really just pushing the boundaries, over-exaggerating it. That way we can get Darren to where he wants to be a lot faster. And sometimes you're gonna get past the point that we want you to be at. In terms of how loose your swing is, there is no too far. It's gonna be really difficult to get there, but there's gonna be some things where you can pass that threshold of what you want. So once you can reach both ends of the spectrum, it's gonna be a lot easier to kind of dial it in because you felt everything from one side to the other. Now you just kind of have to dial it in, feel it out, and get to that one spot. All right, let's see one really good knee bend one. Kind of get low, get the ball into the ground really good. Good. All right, man, good work. That's gonna do it for our lesson today. I don't like to give too many points again because if I put more thoughts into your mind, That's more distractions than you need when you're trying to focus on getting better, changing one thing at a time, and improving your game. So thank you, Darren, for being on the channel once again. Hopefully increase your average and get one step closer to your goals of becoming a professional bowler.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool.